It's the grandson of Right Thought. Welcome to the School of Marvelous Light. This message is going to be a little difficult for a lot of people to take. Not like I'll be raising my voice or yelling, hollering, screaming, cussing, nothing like that. But because of the things that I'll be saying will be difficult things for people to receive due to their vulgarness, due to the uncleanness of the acts that I'll be talking about themselves. It'll be hard for a lot of people to hear it. So if you're sensitive, to sexual immorality, things like that, then it's probably best you just move on, don't listen to it, because you might get in your feelings about this. If you've been a partaker in any of these things I'm about to discuss, you might get in your feelings about it. So just be prepared is all I'm saying. So I'm warning y'all, giving y'all a forewarning for sensitive viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. We're going to read out the scripts first, and then we're going to build on that. I always use the Most High's word as our foundation stone. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, start at verse 1. Dare any of you, having a matter against another, go to law before the unjust and not before the saints? He says, us of the brotherhood, if we have an issue with our brother, why y'all taking him to court? Of the world, before an unbeliever, why don't you go before your own brothers and sisters to judge the matter? Verse 2. Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? Did y'all hear that? Y'all don't hear that? So the elect, you gonna do what? Go ahead on and say it. Y'all gotta excuse the background noise. Construction crew over here working, so y'all don't have to excuse that. Well, who's gonna judge the world? What did it say? Do you not know that the saints shall judge the world? And if the world shall be judged by you, see, are you unworthy to judge the smallest matters? Y'all can't judge little matters between yourselves. Know you not that we shall judge angels? Do y'all hear that? How much more things that pertain to this life? If then you have judgments of things pertaining to this life, set them to judge who are least esteemed in the church. I speak to your shame. Is it so that there is not a wise man among you? No, not one that shall be able to judge between his brethren. Y'all can't judge. But brother goeth to law with brother, and that before the unbelievers. See? So you got Christians, so-called Christians, believers, that take their own Christian brothers and sisters to court before they go to the leaders of their own church to judge the matter. And they accept that as the final judgment. No, they go to their pastors and elders for advice, but then they go to court to take care of the matter. You see, they're doing it backwards, he's saying. He's like, y'all going to judge the whole earth. Y'all going to judge the world. And y'all don't know how to judge simple matters in church? You see? He says, now therefore, there is utterly a fault among you. See? He's reproving them. Because you go to law one with another. He says, y'all ain't supposed to be doing that. Going to court, taking each other to court. He says, why do you not rather take wrong? Why do you not rather suffer yourselves to be defrauded? Why don't you just accept it? If the brother says you wrong, just accept it and say, all right, you say I'm wrong. Forget it. What you want me to do? You want me to pay you $5 here? Here's your $5. Why don't y'all do that instead of going to court and saying, he owes me $5, make him pay me. You see? He says, why don't you just suffer the wrongdoing then? He says, nay, you do wrong. He says, nope, y'all don't do that. He says, y'all do wrong and you defraud, and that your brethren. Y'all taking y'all brothers and sisters to court and defrauding them. You see? He says, know you not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? So in other words, he's saying to do that is unrighteous. And don't you know that you won't inherit the kingdom of God if you're that kind of person? He says, be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God. Did y'all hear that? Y'all can take your own time to go through that list again and see if you fall under any of those categories and check yourself before you wreck yourself. You see? Because ain't none of them going to inherit the kingdom of God. Did you see? So we're going to focus on a few of those because that's what the message is about today. So he says, before I go into the message, we're going to continue. He says, shall inherit the kingdom of God. Verse 11. And such were some of you. See, that's what I said. Check that list to see if you fall under any of those categories of being a fornicator, an idolater, an adulterer, effeminate, an abuser of yourself with mankind, a thief, a covetous person, a drunk, a reviler, an extortioner. Do you fall under any of those categories? Because he says, and such were some of you, but you were washed. You are washed, see? And you are sanctified, set apart. But ye are justified in the name of the Lord Yahushua and by the Spirit of our God. See? When you get sealed, you get the Spirit of God as a seal to prove that you are chosen out of the world and elected by Yahushua. It's your blessed assurance. You see? The Comforter comforts you. That's what does it. The Spirit is going to reside with you and comfort you. You see? All things are lawful unto me. Listen, but all things are not expedient, which means good, helpful, profitable. You see? All things are lawful, but not all things are going to help me to do it. You see? Smoking a cigarette. I can smoke a cigarette, but that ain't going to do me no damn good to smoke the cigarette. It's not going to profit me to do it. Y'all see that? I can drink a fifth of liquor, but it ain't going to profit myself to do that. It's going to destroy me. See? But I can do it. You see? All things are lawful for me, but I will not be brought under the power of any. That means addiction. I will not be addicted to any of that stuff that's out there. I can partake of what I want to, but I will not be addicted to it. It won't have any power over me. You see? Meats are for the belly, and the belly is for meats. That's what it's designed for. The belly is designed to take in food and digest it. See? And that's what the food is designed for, to be digested and eaten. But God shall destroy both it and them, the food and the belly. See? Now the body is not for fornication. Listen, y'all, because this is where we're getting to. But for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. Oh, hear that? So why did God make the body? It's the same thing the grandson has always been telling you. Look at all this noise, y'all. It's crazy. It's the same thing the grandson has always been telling you. He made the body so that it could be a temple, so that he could come inside and live in there. That's why. To make his abode with you. You see? He says the body is for the Lord, and the Lord for the body. Y'all hear that? And God hath both raised up the Lord, and will also raise up us by his own power. So your body was made so that Christ can live in your body. And Christ was made so that he could get in your body and live. That's what it's telling you. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Christ? What did I tell you? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of a harlot? God forbid. What? Know you not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. I told you, be married to Yahushua. Didn't I tell you that? And you will be one with him. So then when you are one with him, then how can you say you somebody else? That's what I've been trying to tell y'all. You see? It's because y'all not one with him that you get confused when somebody give you that hard saying and says, if I'm talking to you as anybody other than Christ, then I'm not one with Christ. It means I'm failing, not you. It means I'm falling short, not you. That's what it means. You see? But the first thing he says about our bodies is to flee fornication, correct? Because we want to know, how do we overcome the flesh so that we can come into the spiritual body? and redeem our spiritual bodies, like the Garden of Eden that we had, bodies of light. See, we want to redeem our bodies of light, our Christ bodies. He says, well, how do you do that? Well, for one thing, flee fornication. Stay away from that shit because it destroys your body. It makes your body unable to receive the Spirit, in other words. Okay? He says, flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body, outside of the body. But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. You hear that? What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which you have of God, and you are not your own? See? For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. Y'all hear that? So now, fornication destroys the body. Sexual immorality, sexual sin destroys the body. So, for instance, let's take an innocent child in this world. How many innocent children, against their will, have been sexually sinned against? Now, when you do that to the child, what happens to the child? The child's personality becomes shattered. Abiyad describes it as a man smashing a mirror with a sledgehammer. That's what happens to the child's personality when a person molests that child, especially if they anally rape that child. So now, men that harm children, we call pedophiles, you see. That's fornication. And because of that fornication, it disrupts the child's being, which is identity, is I am, and distorts it for eternity, for the rest of his life. And the only deliverance is God for that person, if it be his will, because they are so destroyed that there's no therapy that can help them out of that. There isn't any hugs and kisses that can deliver a person from being harmed in that way. You see? And like I said, see, that's why I told those guilty to run before I start talking, because if you've done this, then this is what you've done. You have closed off the kingdom of heaven to that child. Their soul has been snatched. And you have opened up a portal for a demon to now come in and Satan to now enter into that child's body. The worse the sexual sin, the bigger the portal for the demonic energy to enter in. So if you take a father who rapes his own child, like they do in this world, they take their own infant baby who hasn't even learned how to speak words yet, and they rape that child, and they insert their penis into that child's body, in their anus and in their vaginas and their mouths, then they destroy that I am of that child, and its place becomes a deceiver, a false image, Satan, in other words. Do you understand? You've created another satanic clone. By doing that, you've closed off the kingdom of heaven to that child who doesn't know who they are. They can never believe they are valuable, no matter what you say to them anymore, because of what was done to them as a child. They're destroyed now. They're shattered. When you say a person's personality shatters and they have multiple personalities, then how can they I am? That's really what you're saying, guys. Y'all try to get around God if you want to. God's name is I am. So when you ask a person who has personality has been shattered into many personalities, called splitting, that means their I am is destroyed. Why? Because you've entered in new knowledge of evil into that person's body, that child's body. Do you hear this? So now, the same thing, men, when you take sex from a woman against her will, it's the same fornication and the same sin. You have now destroyed her. I am safe. I am beautiful. I am valuable. You've taken it and you defiled her and destroyed her. Did you not read about Dinah and Shechem? Jacob's daughter was defiled because a man lusted after her. And see, I told you it is lust that destroys. And he could not contain it. And he took her and he defiled her virginity. And Simeon and Levi killed Shechem and his whole village because of that. That is how Abiyah felt about it. Do y'all hear me though? Do y'all hear me? Sexual sin is what's destroying your body. It's not anything else because every other sin is outside of your body. Listen to me, talking to y'all. Lust is what needs to be destroyed today. Israel, listen to me. Not the white man, not the Indian man, not the Arab man, not the Chinese man, not the black man, not the African man. The lust that is in your heart today is what needs to be destroyed. Not who needs to be president. Not what job you need to get this year, how much money you need to make, what school and degrees you gonna get this year. Fuck that. Get that lust out of your heart so that our sisters don't have to be afraid anymore and turn to these wicked bitches they've become because they're afraid of you niggas. Really, at the end of the day, that's all it is. They don't trust you. That's all it is. How are they supposed to trust you if you harm them? It starts with you, men. It starts with you and it's going to end with you. No matter how much you run from that, no matter how much you try to say, oh, fuck it. It's not my responsibility. It is your responsibility. You were given dominion. And if you can't contain your own body, then how can you contain this world? Harm these children no more, you men, for you will be judged for such. For cutting off the kingdom of heaven to the innocent. It is not yours to touch. It was not yours to defile. It was not yours to lust over. It's not your creation. How dare you? Men with men working that thing that is unseemly. That is fornication, men. And you know within yourself it's fornication because you even have movies and books and TV shows and all kinds of shit that says down low. If you were proud to do something, which all of you say you are, then why did it start as something that was on the down low if you were proud of it? Our master never told us to dim our lights on the down low. He said, let your light so shine that men will see and come to you and praise your Father in heaven. But if you're living on the down low, then how can you praise your Father in heaven? How can you do it when you're hiding something? How can you let your light shine when you're dimming it down and they lie? All over lust, brother. That's all it is. If you could understand, it's just your lust. More. How many more nuts do y'all niggas need out here? That feeling ain't gonna never change. It ain't gonna never be better than the last. It's gonna be the same feeling. The orgasm gonna be the same fucking feeling. You're gonna be chasing that feeling until you die or until your dick don't work no more. Niggas is taking Viagra because they dick is telling them slow down. You know, don't want to listen to your body that's telling you doing something wrong. You want to deny the wrong you doing. Y'all doing it with everything. Y'all get fat and say, I'm just gonna get some gastric bypass surgery. No, nigga, stop making yourself fat. Control your appetite. Don't put a device because you can't control it. Putting on a fucking condom because you can't control your dick. All you niggas is doing shit because you can't control your lust. What does a bulimic do? They throw up after they've eaten. Why? Because they can't control it. The fact that they want to fucking eat. They can't control their appetite. So they try to control it by throwing it all up afterwards. That's killing your body, isn't it? Y'all don't want to listen to none of this stuff that's telling you the truth. Your lust is overtaking you so much so that it's blinded you to all reason. It's blinded you to, wait a second, this child is 2 years old. Why are you trying to penetrate this 2-year-old child that's screaming and crying? Why don't you care? Because nobody cared about me when it was happening to me. Well, who's going to stop it? You won't be the one to stop it, you heartless bastard. You don't hate what happened to you so much that you won't allow it to go forth in this earth. You'd rather continue it? Then that means you loved it. What kind of wicked vessel are you? What kind of wicked vessel are you? Y'all can't think y'all can do what y'all doing down there in Atlanta and think Abiyah ain't gonna bring the heat down there in Atlanta and cleanse that place. He is gonna cleanse that place. He gonna cleanse it because of the secret things that y'all do. That y'all say nobody sees us. When y'all do y'all rituals under the full blood moon to Baba Legba, and y'all bring y'all little white teddy bears and white gifts and y'all liquor bottles and y'all give it to him as a sacrifice. Baba Legba take children, don't he? Don't he require blood of a child, don't he? And y'all want to worship him down there? Y'all are wicked as hell, man. Y'all don't understand the shit that y'all do. Everything is about blood and killing, man. Everything is about blood with y'all. Rape a child until they bleed out of their own anus. You rape a woman until she bleeds out of her own body, till her mouth bleeds. And then you kill her so she won't tell anybody your wicked deeds you've done to try to hide your evidences. The way that y'all just take people and just take them out in the woods and tie them up and blindfold them and chop their fucking heads off and blow their head off. Stab women to death because she cheated on you. You stab her to death and cut her into fucking pieces and you crush her head. What give you the right to do that? You without sin shoot that first bullet. But no, y'all don't heed that. Y'all do it anyway. Right in his face. You don't have no honor. Y'all are not upright in this world. And because of that, because of your lust, that is the final thing. Look on them chakras I told you. What color came after red at the bottom? Nothing. That's lust. When it's distorted, what you hear right now is my root chakra. In righteousness. This is my root chakra talking to you. You see? Passion. Instead of using this energy right here to be fucking. Because this is the same energy you use to have sex. Communication is intercourse. So when I'm communicating, I'm having sex. But y'all too childish to try to understand that because I'm giving you information that's going into your mind or into your ears. So I'm penetrating you. I'm being the man right now and you're being the woman right now. That's what it means. So when you're listening to the news, you're being fucked by a peckerwood. When you're listening to the president speak to you, you're being fucked by a peckerwood micro penis motherfucker. When you're listening to your politicians, you're getting fucked by peckerwoods, pencil dicks. And you wondering why you always frustrated every time you listen to them fuck you. You wonder why you leave sexually frustrated. Because you ain't listening to the truth. But if you listen to the truth, you get filled up and you be fooled. You wouldn't want any other penetration. Once you get the truth sets you free from lusting, from your fornications, from your adulteries. That not what Abba Yah say? Return unto me, for I am a husband unto you. Stop committing fornication. Stop. When you listen to other people, they're having sex with you. I told you that. If you open your ear, something is going in it. Well, then you've become a female. And you've received the male of something else. The thought, like I told you, to try to get your feelings to agree with the thought. The news right now is going around asking people, they're showing with an iPad people shit that happened in their neighborhood and seeing and asking them, did they know it even happened? What kind of news is this? Y'all are supposed to report the news on TV and instead y'all are going around with an iPad saying, hey, yeah, last night at the corner of your street, this gas station was robbed. Here's the footage. Did you see that? And the person's looking, they're like, oh, wow, that happened last night? I didn't know that. Wow, yeah, we got to be safe out here, y'all. So you didn't even know that happened till that lady showed you that. Why the fuck you showing her that then? What good did it do her? To put fear. To make her feel like she's unsafe in her neighborhood. That's it. If you believe it. Instead of listening to the one that says, just say I am safe. Wherever I go. And see, that's been shattered in so many people. Personalities. They don't know who they are. They're not solid on a foundation. They have not built who they are on a solid rock. So it comes crumbling down. Well, that's easy for it to happen when a person gets raped as a child and molested as a child. Their I am gets destroyed. Their safety, their protection, their confidence, their all that shit get destroyed. Their sexual preference, they don't know anymore because when they were a kid, they were a little boy, but yet it was a grown man fondling them. And even though made them feel so scared and ashamed, it did feel good physically. So they're fucked up now, don't know what to think. Their I am is fucked up now, see? It's like a guy I knew. A man I knew. He was the brother of a girl I was dating at the time. It was her brother. And this guy used to have rage like a motherfucker. And I could not understand. He said, why is the guy always trying to fight? He even tried to fight me one time. But we were playing basketball one day. He got into a fight with a guy playing basketball, punched the guy in his mouth, busted his mouth all open. We were at the club one day. His aunt boyfriend was arguing with his aunt. He attacked the guy and punched him and beat him up in front of the bar. I had to physically pull him out. I had the man's blood on my coat. I had a white coat on. I had white blood all over that white coat. I had blood all over that white coat. Because I'm carrying him. He got blood all on his fist from beating the guy up. This the same guy. We go to the club one day. The guy bumps into him. He's about to fight this guy. We had to pull him away then. All this rage been pent up where you want to fight and beat everybody's ass. Well, come to find out, his sister tells me one day when they were young, he was about 17 or 18 years old. Their stepbrother got them drunk, just saying, hey, let's hang out at the house, got them drunk. And while they were drunk, he penetrated his stepbrother. The one that's always want to fight and shit I'm telling you about, he raped him while he was drunk and passed out. She wasn't there when this happened. She's just telling me the story of what happened. The stepbrother. And I saw the stepbrother, very effeminate, walking around, prancing around. I saw him myself. So you got your stepbrother drunk so that you could anally rape him. So, of course, when he woke up and found that out, he has had this rage issue ever since. Because his manhood is all screwed up and fucked up, his identity. He wants to believe he's a man, but that voice keeps creeping in going, you've been fucked in your ass. You ain't no fucking man. You got fucked. How are you a man? How are you powerful when you let another man dominate you? And he's an effeminate, weak man. Look at that shit. That's how the devil speaks to you once you've opened that portal. It causes a man to grow into a violent beast who cannot control himself. He can't. He becomes extremely volatile and violent when he has been tampered with in that way. Just as women come with the seal, men come with the seal as well. And that's to not be anally probed by another man or dildo or any of that shit neither, honestly, guys. You want to get real with this shit, your ass is sealed. It's only supposed to stuff come out, not go in. The woman comes with a seal called a hymen. Once the seal is broken in a wrong manner, so if something goes in the man's ass instead of out, then he is now defiled. When something breaks her hymen that was not her husband, she's defiled. The body has been sinned against. So now the woman, watch this. When the woman's seal is broken against her will, or a man that's not her husband, even if she consents, a man that's not her husband, her value instantly drops, and here comes the devil. You ain't shit, bitch. You were a pure virgin before, but now you ain't shit but a cum bucket. You may as well fuck everybody, because who gives a fuck? You ain't worth nothing no way. All your value is gone. All you women can attest that are not virgins can attest that's how he speaks to you once you give up your virginity in a stupid way. Or it's taken from you wrongfully. And for that, it's not your fault. Either way, that voice is coming to attack you. It wasn't there when you were pure driven as the snow virgin. So fornication destroys your identity. That's why he wants everybody doing it. Do y'all hear me? That's why he wants everybody to do it. But before I finish this message, because I'm at the end of that now, let me see if I can go back and grab some information on how to abstain from this fornication. What to do instead. Let me see. Go back and take a look. All right, hold on. Let me go back to 1 Corinthians. All right. He says, let's go to chapter 7. Verse 1. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. So you see what he says? That's the best case scenario. Is that a woman is a virgin, man don't defile her, leave her alone. That's the actual best way, because everybody stays pure that way. You see? He says, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, because he knows that men be looking at women like, dang, you look good, girl. Dang, I want it. I want you to be my wife. He knows that's gonna happen. He says, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So to avoid being promiscuous and fucking other people and trying to sneak in there with kids and trying to rape them while they sleep and doing all kind of wicked shit, get you a wife that you and her decide, when I feel like that, you and I will do that together. Me and you will do that thing together. And vice versa, women, you do it. When you feel the urge, get you a husband that you lay with him, and that's it. You don't lay with no other man. You got a man you pick that you gonna lay with, and that's it. Okay? Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. So when the husband is in the mood, let the wife go on and give in and give him some. When the wife is in the mood, husband, you go on and give her some when she ready. You see? That way y'all ain't got to fornicate. The wife has not power over her own body, but the husband. So when the husband want it, wife, you got to give it up. And likewise also the husband hath not power over his own body, but the wife. So when she wants her body, see, give it to her. Because vice versa, when you want her body, that's your body you're asking for, because y'all are now in union, y'all are one. So you're asking for your own body now. That's the way you got to view it. You see, not mine. Oh God, he want to have some. Well, ain't y'all one? What about when you want some? You don't want him going, oh God, you want some dick? Damn, here, man, shit. No, see, okay. So he says, defraud ye not one another, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and then come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your incontinency. So, if y'all want to pray and fast and take some time off from having sex and being together sexually, then do that. But when you're done taking your little time apart that y'all have agreed to take apart, come back together, be having sex and stuff again, so that Satan can't try to deceive y'all and trick y'all and doing some other stuff. See? He says, but I speak this by permission and not of commandment. So he says, Abba gave me permission to say these things, but he didn't give this as a commandment. So this is just advice from my own self. For I would that all men, even as I myself, which means single. But every man has his proper gift of God, one after this manner, another after that. Everybody got their own gift. I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide, even as I. Unmarried, see? But if they cannot contain, if they just can't help it, they just need to have a union with somebody, then let them marry. Don't just hook up like today's culture. Well, when I get horny, I'll just hook up and then kick that nigga on his way. No! If you get horny, find you a husband. That's simple. Or man, if you get horny, don't do no fucking Netflix and chill and hooking up and all that shit. All you doing is setting yourself up to destroy your own body. That's all you doing. He says, and unto the married I command, yet not I, but the Lord. So this is a commandment now. Let not the wife depart from her husband. So once y'all are in union, don't let the wife leave. But what y'all see today, women are 80% of divorces come from women. They are initiating 80% of divorces. So are they listening to this command of God, it says? No, they're not. 80% of women are not. 8 out of 10 say, fuck what Yahusha says. So, men, do y'all hear that? How many women you're going to have that are going to have a chance? And out of those 20% that's left, see, the other 80%, they've proved they're wicked by divorcing their man, not listening to this, by this commandment. That makes fornicators. Woman, don't you know that? If you have a husband and you're with him and you leave him, you're going to have sex with some other men. You have now made yourself a whore and made other men whoremongers and adulterers, and you're an adulteress. That's why he says, don't do the shit. It's best if you just stay unmarried then. Don't get married then. That's what he's saying. Y'all hear that? So I'm going to stop it right there. I ain't going to continue because there's more stuff that could be said about it. But y'all get the point of these sexual sins. It's very obvious. To avoid fornication, get you a wife. You see? And lay with her. And if she decides to be unruly and go her way, well then that's what she's done. That's her choice. You see? Same thing with you, vice versa, woman. You decided that's going to be your husband, then that's who you're going to sleep with, and that's him. You're not gonna sleep with him and then be sleeping with the other nigga on the side and got a side nigga over here and got another dude over here that buy you food and take you on dates and you got another nigga over here that fix your plumbing at your house and the maintenance man and he hit it sometimes and you got another nigga over here that buy you plane tickets when you want to go travel and he hit it sometimes and you no, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your own body. You're defiling your own body and you know you is, which causes your identity to be separated from I am God and its truth, and y'all all know that's true. Salawam Israel.